So if you want to pay in full, you'll do it the first way that I teach you. If you want to do it over payments, you'll do it the second way that I'll teach you. But first, I'm going to teach you how to create different locations. So if I go to my dashboard, once I log into Square, if you don't have a Square account, I'll drop a link as well into the description for $1,000 of free processing for the first 6 months. So Dauntless Travel, I'm going to click account settings. So whatever your name is up here, when you sign up, that's what you'll click on to create locations. So when I'm on account settings, right? Remember I click corner account settings. That brings me to this page. I'm going to go to the left-hand side where it says business information. And I'm going to scroll down to locations. So you'll see I have 2 separate locations here. If you don't have an address for your business, I would put your house address. That's what I have. Now, to create a location, you'll click create location and you will type in wholesale supplier rate. You'll type in this info. You don't really need to fill this stuff out. And then you'll click save. Again, your location business name can only be edited up to 3 times every 12 months. So you just want to make sure that you do it right the first time. So that brings us here. This is what mine looks like. And none of this stuff is filled out. So when I go back to my main dashboard, now that I have the locations created, I'm going to collect a payment. So the first way that I'm going to show you guys is how to collect it in full. The second way is going to be very similar to the first way. The amounts are just going to be a little bit different. So whatever card is authorized here, right? So I'll show you with another example what it will look like. If you look under messages, it'll let you know when the payment has been authorized. You'll click payment info. And then based on the different amounts that pop up, for the first scenario, it would be $32.27 in full. You would just click show card and it would give you the credit card info that you need to type into Square and Evo Plus. Now keep in mind, the only payment you are taking on Square is for you. The remainder of the payment goes directly to the wholesaler or the supplier, never to you in your Square account. That's how you'll get locked out and deactivated, and it won't be good. So remember, Square is solely funds for you, okay? So, okay, say I get the card info. I'm going to click take payment. And I'm going to type in the amount, $24.95 for the first scenario. And I'm going to notate again that it says wholesale supplier rate non-refundable. Remember to put non-refundable wherever you can. This is where you'll enter the card info, but something I want you guys to be mindful of before you do that is up here in the left-hand side. You want to make sure the location says wholesale supplier rate and not the other location. I've had that happen plenty of times where I'm like, oh crap, glad I caught myself, right? Because it's going to show up as a different line item on their statement, and you want it to show wholesale supplier rate so that you are consistent with your words. So say it's on your other location, all you have to do is click wholesale supplier rate. It'll bring you back here. It might have you fill in the info again, but again, not much work to do that. So then you'll type in the info here and you'll hit charge. If there's something that pops up, just go ahead and click OK. but you should be good. You don't need to send them the receipt. We'll do that through TravelJoy. Now, in the second scenario, if you're choosing to do a smaller deposit, you would do whatever that first deposit amount is and then hit charge. And then each time this authorized payment message comes in, I always tell my clients, give me 24 to 48 hours to initiate that payment because I have to manually punch it in. When that payment amount comes through, in this case, and in this specific scenario, it would be $498 and change. I would just come to my Square terminal and I would manually type the information in each time it came in. And then hit charge. That's really it, right? When I go back to my Square, you'll have a balance area. So you can see your transactions here, and you're going to want to make sure that location is set up the same way on the back end as the other location so that it goes to your bank account, right? I'll do that on a separate training, but I really wanted you guys just to focus on how to collect that money right now. We can worry about the other stuff after the fact. So now if I go back to my invoice, I want to send that receipt to the client. So once I make those two payments, I'm going to click mark as paid and I'm going to make sure send receipt to client is checked off. Now, when the client receives it, this is what it will look like. It will look like they made the payment and this is their balance due. And then each time, so I'll mark this paid. I'll show you what it will look like each time if you're on a payment schedule. So if I click mark paid for this and I look at preview, it'll have a payment and credit from the deposit and then the payment that you took today. Now, if I click that marked as paid, and I go to the next one, preview, that last amount, payment one, will be added to the credit balance and it'll keep going down until it's fully paid off.